Hey everyone, this is Seth Bloom.
David Grimion.
We're here from Bloom Legal right in the Warehouse District in New Orleans. We're sorry for all our fans out there. We haven't done a podcast in a long time, but we're committed to it. You know, you gotta enter the New Year's with some resolutions to get back to some things. So we wanted to hit a couple for this holiday season. So we wanted to wish everyone out there Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating, being with family, being with friends, looking forward to a new year. So I just wanted to wish that to everyone that listens to us and to all of New Orleans and to everyone out there. So
absolutely. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. So we're looking forward to 2019, but we just wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, what goes on here in New Orleans during the Christmas and the holiday time now. It's a pretty fun time. You know, Dave, I always thought that, you know, and we do get a lot of tourists because around Christmas time, late December, it's really freezing across most of the northern part of the United States. And
not so much here, at least usually. It may be a little chilly, but
and I don't want to mislead all our national audience right now.
Exactly.
I don't want to mislead you. We're not Miami Beach, so it's not going to be 85 degrees and sunny. But what I can tell you is if you're from Detroit or New York City, you're probably at the very worst going to have, you know, 40s and 50s and a little rain. But you'll be surprised that you'll probably have some 60s and 70s and really clear days too. And it's, you know, we're a lot less expensive than Miami.
Yeah.
And we love tourism down here. We're a tourist city, and you know, we do a lot of work here at Bloom Legal, helping people that, you know, need legal issues. Just like when people come to town, they need, you know, sometimes people get into situations where they need a doctor. So we try to provide whatever legal services that individuals need when they are traveling here. So there's a lots going on, David. You might want to talk about a little bit about you know, where you're from and how you do your Christmas in, you know, in Louisiana.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I actually grew up in Thibodaux, Louisiana, a little further south of New Orleans. I was born here, and down on the bayou.
Wait, what's that parish called again?
That's Lafourche Parish. And
all right.
Down on the bayou and on the river, especially in Vacherie and all along the river, a lot of people, they set up bonfires to light the way on Christmas Eve for Papa Noel, for Santa coming down the river to deliver presents for all the kids. And so that's always been a really cool, you know, special thing that we do down here that might not be done elsewhere, and it's got a lot of tradition and culture with it.
It's a pretty cool sight to see all those fires burning.
Absolutely.
And I know they do that in a few different places in Louisiana, but it's mostly in the southern places, the more
for sure,
you know.
So, but, you know, as Seth was talking about the weather, I can remember many times growing up where I was wearing shorts on Christmas. I can also remember once in high school it snowed. So, you know, it's you never can predict the weather down here, but it's definitely not going to be as cold as it is up in, you know, Detroit or New York. That's for sure.
But so that's our plug for New Orleans tourism,
and it's beautiful.
And it's beautiful. It's nice. Our restaurants are great. A lot of times it's quiet for a little while. The hotels here are much more reasonable, and it's a good time. It's a nice place to spend Christmas and the holiday season, and then if you can brave it, you can flow right into New Year's Eve.
Exactly.
Where things get a little wilder, and I know we have a late Mardi Gras this year, so we can space our events out here.
You can come down twice, you know.
And I guess, you know, so there's all this revelry going on. I think one thing that comes to mind, and we're a little late because this is going to probably come out, you know, today, December 19th, so we're only a few days away. I know some people have been Christmas partying for a few weeks already, but, you know, we always get cases where people, you know, drinking a little too much. So even, you know, take an Uber, take a cab if you're going to be going to Christmas parties and drinking.
Yep.
And just be safe out there. You know, there are a lot of people on the road, and whether you are involved in an auto accident or there's any sort of issue with drinking and driving or any other problem that comes up, you just got to kind of, you know, people are working hard, all sorts of things are going on.
Just don't get behind the wheel. I mean, even if you are at a friend's house or you're parked somewhere and you're afraid of getting a parking ticket or your car being towed, that's a lot better than getting a DWI. And, you know, some people that just hop in the car and move the car and you know, you can be pulled over. Make sure that someone sober is doing that and you're not ever getting behind the wheel after drinking and starting that car.
That's right. And the police are out there. They know people are going from parties. They know sometimes people, families, you have a lunch at one house, you have a dinner at another, or you're just meeting friends out. So you just got to be careful about that. And that's what, I think right from Christmas we roll right into the Sugar Bowl. And so that keeps everything, really exciting and going well. And this year we have the University of Georgia, which, we're glad they're coming, but
they traveled well for the LSU game. I remember there were a lot of Georgia fans there. Right,
down here in Louisiana, there's no particular love for the University of Georgia, but we do like their fans, and we do like them coming and eating in our restaurants and showing them all of our Louisiana and New Orleans hospitality. And then they're playing Texas, UT.
Yeah.
And UT's been here before, and so's Georgia, but it's been a while, and I think that's a great matchup. I didn't look to see how many times those two universities have played before, if in fact they have.
I'm not sure.
I was rooting for, in another bowl game, I wanted to see LSU, our home team here. I wanted to see LSU play Michigan instead of Florida, because those two programs, and I don't want to get off on being a sports guy here, but it just kind of comes out naturally. I would have liked to see that Louisiana State game versus Michigan.
They've never played before.
They've never played, so these are two
historic programs.
Exactly. So, next year I'm going to try to get onto the bowl committee and try to work this out. But for now,
we're working on it at Bloom Legal.
For now, we're just at Bloom Legal. We're practicing law. We're trying to keep people safe over the holidays. Both David and I are around. In case you need anything, you can always call our number, 504-599-9997. When I first started practicing, David, I had an 800 number, too.
Yeah?
And then I realized about 5 years ago, no one used an 800 number, so I just wanted it off my of my website.
Gotcha.
But
you gotta consolidate. One other thing, everyone, and especially around the holidays and Christmas, is make sure that whenever you're going into a store, buying those Christmas gifts, things like that, that you don't, accidentally walk out of the store with something, or, the stores are very sophisticated these days and have great anti-theft techniques that are employed. So we get calls about that all the time, even not during the holidays. So they're definitely out there looking right now.
And I think something that we've touched on is, why are people drinking and driving? Why are people, maybe, doing some things like shoplifting or stealing things here and there?
Holidays is a stressful time.
Holidays are a stressful time. And, I always say to my clients, yes, I'm going to go into court for you. I'm going to talk to you, but I also want to counsel you. I want to talk to you about what's going on. And usually when people come into my office, especially the type of people that have never been arrested before or really never had any legal problems, and suddenly they get, arrested Christmas night for a fight with their wife or their boyfriend or their whoever it is, suddenly usually something's going on there. Money's tight. There's a lot of expectations, for
alcohol is usually involved.
Right. A lot of alcohol. Alcohol's expensive too. Yeah. And, food is for holiday dinners, and then the kiddies want gifts, and people have expectations. So there's a lot of stress. People think about family members that aren't there anymore. Yeah. And also you have to be with family members that you
may or may not be so fond of at times.
Right, you know who these people are. So, we're here for any sort of issue like that. And especially we have represented a number of people that do sometimes during the holidays do a little bit of light shoplifting. And I guess one of the saddest, and also, theft and shoplifting really crosses all socioeconomic areas.
Absolutely.
And I've represented a lot of people that are professionals that have never been arrested before,
or that don't need to shoplift.
These are people that make nice livings, and sometimes the thrill of the shoplifting is kind of their psychological out.
Yeah, their release or something.
And I'm not a psychologist, but certain types of people have different types of, I guess, what would we call it?
Ways to cope.
Some people jog, some people drink. And sometimes when stress is overwhelming, we react in ways that we wouldn't normally do.
Exactly.
So, all of those things are there. And at Bloom Legal, whether something unfortunate happens, and I don't mean to be, we
don't want to harp on the negative during
during the holidays, but usually when someone's calling a lawyer, there's a problem, but what we want to do is let you preserve what's left of your holiday.
Exactly.
And let's fix this thing, and let's make this thing better by talking to you and counseling you and giving you proper representation so you can, go in your life. And whether that's you're injured in a car accident, or if you have questions about an auto accident or some sort of an injury case, or if there's a legal matter. And I think one thing that's really important, and we really get a lot of these calls during this time of year, is it's time for a fresh start, and a lot of people want to get old things expunged off their records, whether it's DWIs or criminal stuff, or maybe something you did in college, or
trying to apply for that new job, and worried about something coming up.
So we really enjoy getting expungements started towards the end of the year and giving everyone a fresh start towards 2019.
Absolutely, and we do a lot of those here at Bloom Legal, and it's best to get it started as quickly as possible, because they can take a few months at times. So for the whole process to be completed. So if you're a young person graduating school looking for a job, in the next 6 to 8 months, and you're worried about something that may have been on your record down, maybe one time when you visited New Orleans or what have you, we can definitely help you with that and look into it and see if we can get it off your record and make sure that when you go apply for that job that nothing comes up, on that background check.
And we've expunged some funny cases.
Yeah.
I mean, and what I mean by funny, I mean just there's been clients of ours that are literally in their 60s and 70s, and we're expunging a marijuana charge from their hippie days in the 1960s. So and that's we don't usually get them that old, but we see all of those kind of things. So we're really out there to help people clear their records, make
Absolutely.
sure and that can also be a traffic ticket if you're late to your grandma's Christmas in Baton Rouge and you get speeding on I-10, then give us a call. But I guess the main message here is we're glad we're back. We're happy to leave a nice podcast. Back to stay, and just to wish everyone out there very happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and anything else you're celebrating, or even if you're not celebrating and you have to work. I hope you make a lot of bonuses and tips if you have to work over the holidays, and just have a great time. And
enjoy the time with your family.
Look forward to talking to everyone in 2019. Take off.